Okay, friends. Hello, hello. I'm obviously a little bit late. Let's not sugarcoat it. I set this thing up about 2 hours before time, and fairly rapidly thereafter, fell asleep. What can you do? Cheers to those of you that stuck around and waited. I do apologise. I don't mean to be flippant or to laugh. How about a sound check, people? Can you hear me this time? The last couple of programs, um, the sound has started badly. Asleep? Yeah, I was indeed asleep, Neil. Who I think I called Nell last time. The definition on my phone screen is terrible. I do apologise. So there was Terry saying hello, Tina and Mike. Hopefully you haven't been washed away like us in Wales. No, we had a slight drizzle yesterday. Last night, that's about all. Been a good day today, weather-wise. I did do a video. Oh gosh, here we go again. I did a video where I said, "Hey, we're going to do a normal TrampCast this afternoon," and then I didn't get around to editing and releasing that video, so I didn't do the TrampCast. Now tonight, I've gone and said, "Hey, gonna go live and let's have a hangout," and fell asleep. Honestly, what can you do? Tina's okay. Tina's okay. Cheers to those of you that have been waiting, and I do apologise. I never mean to waste your time. Just sometimes life gets in the way, doesn't it? Most days this week, I've fallen asleep somewhere between 11 and 12, and then woken up somewhere between 2 and 3, and then been awake the rest of the night. That's very much been the pattern this last week. So I'm guessing that I've got some sleep deficit to kind of that my body wanted to try and make up. So I do apologise for that again. And those of you that have hit the thumbs up without prompting, I do like that. Thank you. Let's see whether I can introduce you to my lovely black co-star over here, just to prove I'm not racist. Hey, babe. Tina, go. Hey, babe. Can I get the light on? Here she is. Tina. Of course, putting the light on means that she's not going to look this way. She's only going to look away. Tina, go. Hey, babe. Hey. No. She wants nothing to do with you, folks. Hey, look. I move the light away and she starts to turn around. Maybe if I keep the light on her. Keep the camera on her but turn the light off. Oh, could you make out if she did even look this way? Hey, babe. Hey. She does. But as soon as I introduce light, oh, the lamp just unplugged itself. Hey, Tina. Daddy wants a cuddle. Nom 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 nom. Kisses and cuddles for Daddy. Not while there's a light in the way, you don't. Oh no, mister. Oh, whoops, folks. That's a good close-up. Hold on. That was unintended. Hold on. Here's the cable for the. Here's the cable for the light. I don't think the lamp's fully charged, so I had to bring the EcoFlow over and plug it in. Also, oh no, surprisingly, did he fall asleep? Asked Mr. S a while ago. He did. Absolutely, he did. Karen checked. I had woken up about 3 minutes before Karen rang, and I was just taking care of the ablutions, mine, not the doggies. But I was on my way, folks. I had to go and grab 2 or 3 beers to see us through. Those are here. Let me just prove that there are indeed 3 beers. 3 quarks for Master Mark, or Master Mike, I guess. Literary reference, don't know if anybody will get it. If it was on Universal Credit, it'd be sanctioned by now. Mate, I'd be fucking fired. Almost Christmas. Alright, Roger, yeah. So there was, that's Karen trying to keep the truth. Oh, Josie, hello. I haven't seen you in a little while. Hello, Josie. Mr. Ice Evening All. Hi, Karen. Don't do TrampCast, the number part is so boring, lol. Oh, that's my favourite part of TrampCast proper, is the numbers section. That's the part where I learn new things. How dare you tell me not to do TrampCast? It was my intention to do one today. I think it's 81, TrampCast 81. I remember queuing it all up and getting the numbers and everything a few weeks ago. Then I think the weather turned, so that didn't happen. But there's nothing stopping that episode from being done. I would be talking about 3 months ago or so, but okay, Josie, no need to apologise. Just mentioning that I haven't seen you in a little while, and I noticed you weren't there. We felt we felt there was a gap in the force. There was a loss in the force. You weren't present. You weren't there. But yeah, I don't know. What is it to talk about, folks? Now you must bear in mind. I think this is the second one on the trot. I don't have any topics. I don't think I've got anything to talk about other than noisy motorbikes. I got no topics, nothing prepared, nothing to talk about. And 2 or 3 hours ago, when I set the stream up, I really was not in the mood for this. So I'm gonna be relying on you guys. I'm gonna respond to you in chat. If chat goes quiet, I'll go even quieter and we'll have to end this. I got a feeling it's going to be a fairly short one, what with me already having fallen asleep. Probably for a good couple of hours, to be fair. Poor Tina hasn't been walked or fed yet, so there's that to bear in mind. She's generally pretty good. I can probably delay her walk by a few, 2, 3, maybe 4 hours, but I prefer not to. If I prefer to look after her properly and give her a proper routine, but Josie's been busy and Anna's been falling asleep over there. Booked a new flight on the 3rd of May. That's quite a distance away, isn't it? 3rd of May. Okay, that'll be nice to see you, if I'm assuming I'm still here. 3rd of May. Is that 6.5 months away? 5.5. Oh God. Maths and dates is so difficult. So there's the whole of January, February, March, April. There's the whole of December. That's 5 months. And there's a couple of scraggly weeks hanging over this end. Marie says it's a pain. That you're talking about my number section. How very dare you. Karen hasn't booked her next trip yet. I'm surprised Karen's not back here already, to be honest, with the frequency of the flights. That's going to get more difficult this next year. We've joked in the past, folks. Karen used to come out for a week, go home, and within a week or so she'd book the flights. And then it got to the point where she started booking the flights while she was sat on the plane home. And then she got to the point where she was booking the next flight out while she was still here. It was getting closer and closer. And now she can't handle the tough British weather. She can't adapt to it. She's been here so long. Hey Karen, spilling the secrets, telling everybody everything. Yeah. Hello, Luke. Josie says go to Spain is a thing. Can't go earlier. No 3 days left. Yeah, managing your time and your holidays and things is always an issue. Go and have a drink then, and then take the tramp with us. That's the idea. Take the tramp out for a drink, everybody. Or for fish and chips at Tweety's. There's an idea somebody floated to me a little while ago. Really expensive this time of year, the flights. The build up to Christmas. Yeah. And kids' holidays. Those get in the way, don't they? Make things more expensive. Excuse me. Okay. Josie has a date in mind for when to move to Spain permanently. The beginning of November next year. Wow, that's a step. I know you and Peter were looking and considering and thinking, but you've set a. It sounds like you've set a fairly firm date in mind. So yeah, that's incredible. Big step, folks. Big step. Of course, you're within the EU, so no visas or anything needed. Not like Brits who are limited to how does it go? 90 days out of every 180. It's a rolling 180 days with a 90-day allowance. Which is part of the reason I'm going to be in so much trouble when I come to leave. I'm not exactly picking my 90 days out of 180, am I? Do you think they'll make allowances for the fact that I'm living in a field without access to my money? I don't know. Oh, I should apologize to Karen. The box that you gave me with my Christmas presents, what did I go? I went out earlier. I must have just been nipping under the trees, and I had a crash inside the tent and shouted at Tina. When I got back in, I found the box knocked over and some of the things of. I've had a spy of what you got me, you naughty lady, as my Christmas present. So for guys, Karen left the country. Was it just a week ago? A week ago yesterday, 1 week. But before she left, I think the day before, on the Friday, she brought me my birthday present. I guess I'm allowed to tell you. She told me I'm allowed to use it. In fact, she told me to make videos, which I might do at some point. So she got me a new pan with a lid, like a crock pot or I don't know what to call the pan. I'm not a. It's got handles either side and a lid on top. Like a. I'm going to call it a crock pot. It's like a slow cooker, but it's just a pan. I put on the heat and do what you need. She got me that for my birthday, which is in. Oh, when is it? It's in a couple of weeks. What's the date? I think it's a couple of weeks yesterday. 2 weeks yesterday. Yeah. We'll worry about that when we get there. I'll probably do a drinking stream. Um, thank you, Karen. But she also left me with a box that she says, "Don't look, don't cheat." That was my the box is my Christmas present, and Tina knocked it over, so I had to put things back in. So I couldn't help but see a um, a box of wine, a bottle of brandy, baked beans, some kind of tinned meat, tinned pork or ham. I think there's a corned beef, which doesn't involve corn. Do you know this, folks? Do you know what's in corned beef? Beef. To corn something meant to break it into small pieces. Uh, Basically, it's beef that's been, um, what's the word? Grated, I guess. It's been broken into small chunks, cooked and packed and chopped and shaped. One of the earliest versions of chopped and shaped meat. But I always assumed it meant it was like 50% grain, like corn, wheat, flour, whatever. No. To corn something just means corn just meant small. So like peppercorn rent is as insignificant rent. It's a notion of rent rather than actual rent. That kind of thing. Anyway, I've gone off on a tangent from a tangent. Thank you, Karen, but sorry, Karen, dog. What can I say? Fucking dog. Um, aren't you, Tina? It's like when I when I try and show you her on an evening or on a night like this, and as soon as I turn the light on, she'll have been laying like on my foot or across my feet all night, staring at me. The moment I turn the camera on her to try and show you, she looks the other way. She looks disinterested. She gets she backs under the covers. She becomes invisible. That's my doggy doggy darling, my Tina Tina girl. Oh, Joanne, hello, Joanne in Glasgow. Hello, hello. Let's have a look. Yes, big step, but when I look forward to lesser pain. Okay. Does that mean there's a medical? Do you mean that literally? Have you got a medical reason for wanting to move to the sun? It often people with certain joint pains or so arthritis, rheumatism, uh, rheumatoid arthritis, etc., etc. Uh, Sometimes just being in the warm is what's the word? An aid to recuperation, an aid to feeling better. It seems like a month ago. When I realised, Karen, I stopped and thought this morning. I stopped and I thought, is it 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago that Karen went? And then I thought, you idiot, no. It's 1 week ago. 1 week and a day, I guess, this morning. Because I'm still eating the things that you left. The cheeses and the boiled hams and I think there's 2 slices of bread in the loaf that you bought. I got that left. Those are under the shh, don't tell anybody. There's this whole line of crap on the edge of the bed. What did I have with them today? Oh yeah, no, I can't say. Man, it was filling. Oh, I couldn't stop eating. I had 7 or 8 slices of bread with this thing that it was. Alright, I'm going to tell you. It was a tin of baked beans and sausages that fell out of the Christmas The Christmas present, when her ladyship, when Tina did her thing, I was trying to work out what am I going to eat today, and I was toying up with all, I was, you know, sizing up these different ideas. But then there on the floor, there was this tin of baked beans with baby sausages. Oh, oh, 7, if not 8 slices of bread with it. It's nearly half a loaf. Ah, sorry, Karen, I cheated. Christmas presents for tea, for my main meal, my evening meal today. Yes, as Northerners, folks, here's the thing. So you probably, if you're foreign, if you're not British, you've been taught breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dinner being the evening meal. In the north of England, it's breakfast. Dinner is midday. Dinner is dinner time, is lunch. Dinner, and we call tea. The evening meal gets called tea for a lot of us Northerners. It's not a universal thing, possibly quite regional, but certainly in a couple of places I've lived in the north. So in Barnsley, so South Yorkshire, we call it tea, evening meal. And over in Morecambe, a lot of people will call it tea for the evening meal. You always, in either place, you'll get some posh people who try and tell you, they try and re-educate you and tell you to speak properly and have breakfast, lunch, which they'll often expand to luncheon. People who are trying to be posh expand lunch to luncheon. It's a total misnomer. There's no such fucking word. You gotta watch a guy online called Rob Words. He will tell you that luncheon was people taking the word lunch and trying to sound posh and above themselves and expanding it, turning it into luncheon. It was never luncheon. There's no such fucking word as luncheon. I mean, it's in the dictionary and everything now, because for 300 or 400 years people have been trying to sound posh, and it's the posh people that write the fucking dictionary. But luncheon doesn't exist. So breakfast, dinner and tea. And if that says different, that's got it wrong. Cheers to the Yorkshire folk and the other Northerners, even the Lancashire folk, I guess. Some of the Geordies will consider us to be Midlands. We're not as far north as they are. There was Karen saying it seems like a month ago. I don't think you will have seen everything. No, I haven't. Tina knocked it over. A few things fell out of the box. I obviously I saw what I saw, and I put everything else back in and tried to avert my eyes from the rest. Joints through my whole body. It says Jonesy with the. Hold on. 8th of November. What's 8th of November? Is that when you went home? 8th, yeah, so a week yesterday. I've just scrolled chat in the wrong direction. Yeah, it's just a week and a day ago, Karen. Of course, folks, this is Karen, right? She went home on the Saturday, and the Sunday she's at work. She doesn't build in any slack time. There's not a, hey, travel takes it out of you. Let's rely on a day or two off. Not Karen. She gets home at whatever time she gets home. So let me think. It was about midday and the plane was delayed. So let's say that she gets home at 4, like to the house, 4, 5, maybe 6 o'clock in the evening. And at 5 or 6 in the morning, she's up to get ready and go to work on a Sunday morning. Don't know how you do it, mate. I honestly don't know how you do it. Done a day in Malaga, day in Torremolinos, day in Marbella, day in Mijas. Lovely place. It was great to get my bearings on the mainland. Yeah, I think you said it was your second. It's only your second time in Spain. Um, you're scouting it out, looking for suitable places for relocation. If I remember correctly, I tried to give you things you wouldn't have had in Spain. Yeah. Like the Branston pickle. Oh my God. Oh, I eked it out as much as I could, but it's gone now. Along with the loaf of bread, the cheese and the hams, and the Branston pickle, and there's brown sauce over there in a bag, or it's remnants, isn't it? It's not a full bottle, I don't think. Yeah. Oh God, folks, things I haven't had in years. Branston pickle, medium chunk. Like myself, a medium chunk. Little bit, carrying a little bit excess. I am a medium chunk. I don't know. Hit the thumbs up if you're appreciating the humour. If you see any humour, even don't care whether you appreciate it or not. If you spot any humour, at least hit the fucking thumbs up. Could have done with a jar of piccalilli or something. Would be the next. That would be the next suggestion. The next time himself drives down here with a cardboard box full of stuff to keep you guys happy and sane over the. It's funny the things that you don't see out here. Oh, the orange, Karen, the orange. Where's that at? Is that? I wasn't sure from the name and everything on it. It just says juice, high juice. I had to read the label, which was covered with a Spanish label. I had to peel the Spanish label back. It's a concentrate you're meant to add water to. I was getting serious. I was just drinking it out of the bottle, as you do. Do you remember the 70s when you could go to the supermarket and get like a 1 litre bottle with a really wide mouth, a wide necked bottle? And my mum and dad didn't realise for the longest time that wasn't just orange juice, it was a concentrate. Not a cordial that you're meant to like dilute the shit out of. It's just like a double or triple strength orange juice that you're meant to put in a bit in the glass and top up to reconstitute an actual orange juice. And I guess this is the same. Double or triple strength, but it's not a more syrupified, it's not a cordial in the normal sense. It is just a fruit concentrate. Um, yeah, yeah. It took me. I was drinking it. I was getting real throwbacks. I was getting a real sense of that 1970s concentrate, which in turn then reminded me. I don't think this still exists. Powdered orange juice, dehydrated orange juice. I think it exists in America. I've heard Americans talk, and they have a brand name that they use, and that I can't quite recall right now. But stateside, it's still a thing. I think it fizzled out in Britain in the 70s, or maybe into the 80s. We used to just rip the pack open, get the powder, and just dip fingers and just and squirm with the sharpness and the oh. Do that. He's just pulling faces. Um, I haven't seen like powdered orange juice in I can say 40 years. Did it become a thing? Is it still a thing? Can you get it in Britain? I've heard people in America talk about it, and they have is it tang? That's a word that just came to mind. Tang. I think Americans. I think that's tang in America. Let me I do have access to the internet independent of the device. Nobody's told me, is the audio okay? Nobody's complained about the audio. Oh, this was trying to make me go live. If I just type tang, I might be pulling this entirely out my ass. Tang. Hold on. I've got packets and I've got glasses and drink. Tang. I'm not sure, folks. I've got pictures. Some are bottles. Some are like tins. It looks like it's lemon tang. It looks like I'm on the right lines. It looks like it's a powdered beverage. Would be my. It's difficult to discern just looking at wrappers. I'm gonna write powder in the search. Tang powdered drink. Let's have a look. Okay. Okay. So Tang gained notoriety because it went to space with the astronauts. The water, when you're in space, apparently, the water tastes metallic. And Tang was included to mask the metallic taste of water on board the spacecraft. But obviously, 60s, 70s, it was all space race. It was all the rage, wasn't it? The moon landings, 6 of them, if I remember correctly. 6 3-man crews, but only 2 men descended from each crew. 2 men descended to the surface, while the third stayed on board. So Apollo 9, Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, and Michael. I knew it a minute ago until. Was it Anderson? That doesn't sound right. It was the third guy. Oh, look, I gotta go back to the internet, folks. I did not. I knew it until a minute ago. I do know it. It's the stress of being online. Third Apollo 9. I don't need to say anything more than that. Is it? No. What's that? Apollo, was it? It was Apollo 11, wasn't it? Not 9. Let me get it right. Give me a second. Michael Collins. Where did I get Anderson from? Oh, I apologize, Mr. Collins. I think you died a couple of months back. Of the original 12 that landed on the moon, we've got less than a couple left, I think. Let's ask. How many of the 12 that landed are alive now? Alive still. I don't think it's many. It would help if I typed 12 without putting a Q in the middle. Four of America's moonwalkers are still alive. Buzz Aldrin, David Scott from Apollo 15, Charles Duke from Apollo 16, and Harrison Schmitt. If I remember correctly, Charles Duke's gone off the rails. He's a UFO nut. think I've got the right one. One of them certainly went way off on one about the experience and claiming cover-ups. And Duke sounds like the one. To the 12, the folks who walked on the moon. And to the 4 that are still alive today. Most of them well into their 90s. Buzz Aldrin, I think it's 95, 96, something like that. And it's less than 10 years ago, he was decking people in the street. He was challenged by this conspiracy theorist saying, admit it, you're a liar. There was no moon landing. It's all a hoax. She fucking laid him out. 85 years old or more. And he's laying men out in the street. You got to admire that. I do anyway. As a stand-up, knockdown, fist-fighty kind of guy, for someone to be in their mid-80s and he's decking this 20-odd or 30-odd-year-old bloke who's calling him all the bastards under the sun, I have to respect that. That's a thing. In Glasgow, we say breakfast, dinner, and tea. You see, I'm trying to. I watch these programs of Americans that settle in Britain, and like the kid comes home from school, Mom, we've got to do something. We've got to go to school and we've got to have tea. And Mum gets out the Earl Grey or the Darjeeling or whatever, because tea, it's a drink, don't you know? They go into apoplexy trying to get ready and take the kid, and they've got to go to some event and bring tea. Kid just means bring your own lunch, bring your own evening meal, bring dinner. He's like a small child looking in the presents before Christmas. I resisted all temptation to look in the box. But I was outside doing a thing, and I heard this crack. And I'm shouting at Tina. I've left her on the bed. I've told her to be still, to behave. She was actually under the covers. She was tucked in bed, under the covers. But when I go out, she gets out and like tries to lay in the middle of the bed where I lay. She tries to be the alpha. He's not here now. I'm next in charge. I'll adopt. He might never come back. She's like, fuck that guy. He's gone. I'm the king of the castle now. And she gets here in the middle of the bed. But then she starts, the things that Karen left. I ran out of floor space, folks. The things Karen left are at the bottom of my bed. I've been stepping over them all fucking week. They're right in the way. And, but I was over there, and I was going that away across the field, and I had to take care of some business, and I heard this clunk, glass on glass and tins and whatever. So I shouted at her, but I had to go where I had to go. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And I came back a couple of minutes later. Doesn't take me long. And it was all, the box was on the floor, the lid was off, stuff was rolling around on the floor. Tina was like sniffing through it, trying to find something that she could. Honestly, if there was something there she could have chewed on and got into that she wanted, she would have been in there. Dog. Honestly, dog. Luncheon meat. Yeah, luncheon meat. Thusly named. Luncheon meat and luncheon vouchers. If anyone remembers luncheon vouchers, was that a 60s thing? 60s into 70s. Probably ended because was it the perfume? It wasn't Profumo, was it? It was a Cynthia Payne, wasn't it? The Madam Sex for Luncheon Vouchers. Fuck. In a literal sense. Fuck. I was way too young. Don't look at me. I just know about these things. Can you see this on my hand? My hand is all calloused. From carrying Tina, the belt that goes around Tina's waist goes around my hand a couple of times. And it nips and rubs, and it's like I'm a working man with calloused hands. I was an office boy, don't forget. All those years an office boy. And now I've got calloused hands. I'm told that sometimes ladies like a man with rough hands. I'm not going there. I'm told it's a thing. We're not going to say who told me, why they told me, and where they were going with that conversation. But tramping a field, folks, you know. There are such things as hobosexuals. Tried to keep watching Scots in Spain now that they're in Nerca, but it just isn't the same as when they're in Torrevieja. Yeah, I'm a lot more less inclined to watch. Sorry, Barry and Karen. I'm a lot less when it's not your local area or when it's not your region. So some of the things they would do would just be walking through town and this bar's gone and that bar's gone, and look at the vandalism here, and oh, this building's been taken over by squatters, isn't it terrible? And it's in your area. It's more in. There's a storm, and you know it's down the road and probably coming this way. Now that they're like, I don't fucking know, 300 or 400 miles that away, nah. Now that channel was always called Scottish Couple in Spain. It was never meant to be Scottish Couple in Torrevieja. So I don't think people are going to unsubscribe, but yeah, you're going to be more selective about which videos you pick up and run with, and it's up to them to build the new audience down in Nerca, however you want to fucking pronounce it. However you pronounce Spanish words, you'll get some people telling you do it wrong. You say it one way, and one group say, no, not like that, like this. You then say it that way, and another group say, no, not like that, like this. And you can never win. The classic is hika and hiko, or hija, hijo. And you can't get it right. You can't. They'll tell you the gracias thing. Is it gracias? Is it gracias? I'm in an area where it's supposed to be gracias, but nobody fucking says it that way. The natives seem to say gracias. Oh, the majority of Spanish, I'm not saying native to this area, the majority of Spanish that I meet say gracias with a s, not a ch, or a th, not a gracias, gracias. Now, they're not all from here. A lot of them are from Murcia and other neighbouring regions. So I never know what to do. Do you do the this, or do you do the s? I don't fuck. I wing it. If they say it first, then you've got a clue as to what they're expecting, and you can mirror back at them. But that's when you're learning Spanish. It's the Spanish tutors, teachers, and apps go crazy on. They want you to really worry about gracias, hija. They want you Torrevieja. They want you to worry about all of that cha and th and ka. And a lot of it's just not a worry to the people who live here. Certainly in a mixed area like this. Maybe if you're in some small village where everybody speaks a certain dialect, or a certain accent. But when you're a melting pot like this, nobody seems to give a fuck. How'd I get here? We were talking about a Scottish couple in Spain. Tangents from tangents. Hello, goodbye. Remind me, there's a real name there. I'm sure you've shared it, but I don't. Give me a second. Let me check my notes. I try and keep notes on you guys so I at least have a clue, but I don't always have them immediately open and to hand. That's the TrampCast folder. It's not going to be in there. Handles to names. Hold on. You are not in my. You are not in my list. Hello, goodbye. Also, hi, chat. Maybe you must give it a chance. Barry's doing his best. Oh, he's a nice boy. Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. It's not about not liking Barry or not liking the channel. He's done me a few solid favors over the past couple of years. The couple of times that he's put me on his channel saw an influx of new subscribers and a lot of activity. Along with that came some negativity from some people. That's not his fault. You can't hold people responsible for their audience. No, nice bloke, done me favours. Wish him the best. He was trying to get out and see me in that final week before they moved, but events we had. That was one of the storms, wasn't it? Events conspired to. He had a lot to do. I mean, he got his packing, his cleaning, his moving is strenuous, difficult. So yeah, no, I got nothing against them. It's just people talking about an area that you've got no knowledge of, no connection to. You're never going to go in your life. It's just less, you know. It's of less interest. He has to build a new audience. Yeah. Hello, goodbye. Says that's why I try to give it a chance, but the Costa del Sol just doesn't draw me in like the Costa Blanca. I've been very static while I've been here. I haven't moved around the country. I don't drive. I'm a tramp and I'm homeless and I'm in a field. I mean, I don't get around fucking Torrevieja much. I'm going to try. How's this, folks? In a couple of weeks, I'm going to try and do like an advent calendar of videos. Me and Tina out and about. Tina in a chariot. We haven't been out as much as you would imagine. I'm going to try and get out every day with her. From the start of December up to Christmas. Maybe a little bit less over Christmas itself, but for those first 24 days, I'll try and do a video a day, not too long of a video, but we'll just try and get out a little bit further, try and exercise my girl, give her. Well, she's got mobility. We do use the chariot, the doggy wheelchair, but I want to use it more. I want to get her out there, and we'll see how that goes. It's an idea anyway. It's an idea. It's something that will be good for her, and it's content, and maybe good, let you guys see me a little bit more. And Tina, she is after all the star of the show. They won't mind one less viewer. The problem is everyone will say that. I think everyone who was subscribed to them is going to hit that same, oh, what's nightlife like in Nerja? And I'm like, who gives a flying fuck? Sorry, Barry. Sorry, Karen. It's nothing personal. It's just, what do we care? They need to build a new audience. Find people that are interested in that region. I mean, you move to a different region when your channel's been mainly about a specific region. And let's be fair, they covered quite a large. I mean, they were off up to Alicante and beyond, so and down the other way, down maybe as far as Cartagena. They covered quite a large swath of land. But then they went and moved to a totally different, the other side of the country, almost down right on the south coast. They moved to a new region. The people in one region aren't going to be as interested. Now, they'll discuss general topics. They'll discuss moving to Spain, buying property, so that they'll hold on to some audience. But like me, a lot of people will watch that more general stuff, but the stuff that's specific to Nerja, or Ka, however you're going to pronounce it. You see how I deliberately pronounce. Mispronunciation is one of the most mispronounced words in the English language. It really is. Pronunciation, not pronunciation. Watch Americans battle with that one. It's almost like wash your sister sauce. Worcestershire sauce. Wash your sister. Future Canoe for the win, if you don't know. I'm sure he wasn't the first to coin the phrase, but watching Americans struggle with certain pronunciation is interesting. When Leicester won the Premier League in, was that 2016, 2017? It was that year, wasn't it? Yeah. No, I had some interesting conversations, even here in Spain. Spaniards and what have you. Oh, Leicester. Yeah, no, mate, that's not how it's pronounced. The other one, Bicester. Fun words. I'm going to go back to scrolling some more, folks. Thank you for keeping the conversation going and giving me talking points to jump off on. I honestly didn't have... As Josie saying, same here. I know now that is for certain not our place. Karen says, do me a list for March. What was that in response to? Oh, things that I don't see often over here. Like the Branston pickle and piccalilli and stuff. Do you a list for March? Is that the next time the camper van's coming down? Or is that your next planned visit? You've used all your days up to such an extent. You're banned for the next 6 months. Oh. Hold on, folks. Going in. Oh. I slouched to such an extent that I've garroted the lads. Oh. Quick scratch. Oh. Oh. All the bottles I gave you are dilute, except for the vodka. Oh, yeah, okay. There's Joanne asking if Karen's not back until March. I'm sure they'll squeeze another visit in before then. It's the big visits that they have planned way in advance. "5 more weeks until I'm back in the Costa Blanca. Gonna be good," says hello goodbye. By the way, Mike, what places have fireworks along the coast of Torrevieja? Um, Depends whether you mean the official ones or unofficially. Fireworks are anytime there's a football match, anytime there's a Saints Day. um, Surprisingly, bonfire night used when the Brits were more in ascendance here. Bonfire night used to get a good representation. November the 5th, or sometimes the weekend nearest there too. This year, nothing. Not a fucking dicky bird. The Brits are gone. In terms of representation, we used to be the dominant foreigners. If you weren't Spanish, you were either British or Irish. And now you're Russian or Ukrainian. Those are the dominant non-Spanish. And an awful lot of Brits have either gone home permanently, like a few that I know, or I just hear a lot less often maybe because of the 90-day rule. And especially now they're starting to compute. Before it was being done with a stamp and a passport and writing numbers in the middle of the stamp. Now that they're starting to introduce the computerization, I think I'm hearing. I don't hear random Brits anymore. If someone's just walking past on this track, on this little back road, I don't hear English. I can't discriminate between Russian and Ukrainian. I can't hear the difference, but I can tell when it's one of those versus like a Hungarian, Romanian. They're slightly different sounding. Polish, uh, but I hear all of those. Dzień dobry, if you're in dobry wieczór this time of day, maybe that would be good evening. I haven't got a good night. But I don't hear random English, or I hear it so rarely, once a week maybe. Yeah, we're just not here anymore, folks. We're just not here anymore. You're more likely to hear Irish than you are English. A number of my friends. Tom just went home a couple of days ago, and Anthony's out here at the minute. Irish and Irish. Don't think I've got any. I haven't got any Angles, any Anglos. I don't think I've got any English out here anymore. I've been deserted, folks. I'm on my own over winter. The Angles have left. I've got to scroll on. I didn't get very far without scrolling. Fireworks. So Spanish holidays and Saints days, but whenever Barcelona play and whenever Madrid play, I get a firework goes off for every goal, and then again at the end of the match for the result. That's the bigger. That's when they bring the dogs in the motorhome. Yeah. New Year's fireworks. They're just everywhere, mate. We will have approximately 12 hours of fireworks from 6 in the evening until 4, 5, maybe not quite 6 in the morning, but it won't be far off. I did a video, oh God, wasn't last year, wasn't last Christmas, it was the one before. The one where I killed a rat in the tent on Christmas morning. Oops. Goodwill to all creatures, except you, Mr. Rat. The trap had been set for a day or two, it was just unfortunate. I had at the point I was in a tent where the bedroom was a sealed unit, but the rest of the tent, the walls came down and just stopped at the floor, and then a separate ground sheet. So anything could come in and under, and did. And then the traps go off, and then you got to listen to the death throes. 4 in the morning, I power up the video camera and show everyone the fucking fireworks. This was Christmas Eve into Christmas morning. The fireworks were still going off at 4 in the morning. At actual midnight, there would have been some organised stuff along in all the places. La Mata, maybe Torre del Moro, somewhere up that way. Somewhere near here had something. I don't know but Torrevieja Town Centre and then Punta Prima will have had some. So all the major. I mean, it's all one conurbation. There's no break in it. But the separate villages, if you like, the separate regions, the separate areas, townships that make up Torrevieja, from La Mata down to Punta Prima and beyond. I don't think you hit countryside at any point. Like solid. There's no break in the buildings. Maybe slightly between Torrevieja and Punta Prima. But not much of a break. So yeah, there'll be fireworks, there'll be organised stuff all the way. Long journey for you. You're talking to Karen about Karen flies. Hubby gets in the RV and drives it down. Oh, she says, okay, not for me, I fly. The ladies of the household, Karen, her daughter, and her mum, come on the plane. Oh no, sometimes the daughter comes in the RV. I'm giving away secrets that I probably shouldn't. Joanne wants to fly back out for the Christmas lights. Okay. Next year, Christmas in Spain, says Josie. Yeah, it will be if you're moving out in the. You said early November next year, yeah. Eh? Hold on. That must be 320, not 3,200. Just for long weekends, so week before the flights are expensive, that's a 3,200, that can't be right. 200, oh, okay, 200, okay, the 3 was an attempt at a pound. 200, okay. Buzz Lightyear, yeah. That's a joke, isn't it, about, I think I was on the Big Bang Theory, somebody wanted to call himself Buzz when he became an astronaut. No, that's taken. Buzz Lightyear doesn't count. No, you fool. Buzz Aldrin, second man on the moon. Yeah, she was typing 200, but the 3, the pound symbol became a 3. Joanne says, the day I came back, it started raining. And then something about the sands. Hold on, let me see whether my brain can convert that to a proper word. Shre sands. No, I can't get that one. That's a typo that's got past me. You can get out and back for as little as like €50 some weekends or some trips. I know this every now and again. A kind person will offer me €50 to get me home or €30 to get me home, not realizing there's a whole logistical fiasco that has to go first. It's not the price of the flights that are keeping me here. Although, folks, and I haven't pinned the comment, I haven't put it there, deliberate choice not to put it there, but if you do look in the description, about halfway down, you will find a PayPal the PayPal donate link. If you're of a mind to, and if you've got it to spare. I don't want money. I've had to turn down some donations in the past. Someone will send me 10 or 20 and say, this is my last 10 or 20, but you can have it. And I'm like, no, have it back. I don't, I don't, I don't need it that bad. If that's your last 10 or 20 loose, if that's your last spare change, you need it more than I do. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay to the extent, folks, that a few weeks ago I spent €250 on a camping fridge freezer, compressor powered rather than a thermoelectric fucking doodad. Those are no good. I'm not saying they're no good. It was good for one summer. But I've now got nice cold ice. I mean, ice. That's not ice cold. It's open. This one though, I would have killed to have that in summer. I would have killed to have, not even as a drink, just as like an ice pack. Now, in saying that, hey, I don't need your money, I've just spent €250, that did kind of wash out the account slightly. Not entirely. I got enough to get by. I do have a couple of regular donors who donate, regularly. By regularly, I don't mean like each and every month. I mean 9 or 10 months out of the year, depending on certain other factors, which helps. That's a great help to get me and Tina through. All of this sounds. I'm dragging it out. It sounds like a begging. If anybody's looking for how to help, the donate link is halfway down in the description. That's all I'm saying. If you've got it and you can help and you want to help, it's appreciated. Other than that, let's move on. I'm scrolling. December is expensive around Christmas. Last night I spent a couple of hours trolling Temu. I'm going to treat myself. Big Clive's been doing these openings where he's opening boxes of bags of crap. He orders like basically a bin bag full of tosh, which he then takes apart to see how it works. And I'm going to do something similar, but not. I'm not buying tosh. I'm not buying rubbish, and it's not to take it apart. But I'm going to buy like a whole series, a whole bag full of things that are like €1 and €2, but that might improve the life of a tramp just a little bit. So what one is like an egg whisk where you press down, and the action of pressing down makes it spin. Like the old you used to get drills and screwdrivers that you would press and would do the limb would be like a coaster, and you pressing down forces it to spin. You get drills that did that, drills and screwdrivers. There's an egg whisk that does well. There are times when I could do with an egg whisk. You can buy thermometers to put in meat that are like €1.50. Do you want to know if your meat's medium rare? Is it cooked yet or is it not cooked? Now that I've got a fridge freezer, I could go out and I could buy like a rabbit. We got Christmas coming up. I could buy a turkey or portions thereof. Oh, I was looking at a 3 gas ring kitchen setup. Yeah, I've got this one ring at the minute, and the ring's huge, and it burns through gas at a stupid fast rate, and most of it's coming up the side of the pan because the ring's so big. I saw this is not in the €1 or €2 category. This is something maybe that I could buy separately next year. For the ones I saw were in the high 30s or low 40s, €40. But a 3-ring kitchen set, I don't know what you're going to call it, like cooker, 3-ring, for not running off camping gas or little bottle, running off a proper gas bottle. €40. Last year, you remember the guy that was here? I tried to cook a Christmas dinner, and I thought about videoing it, but I had too much going on already, and it's a real juggling act trying to cook a Christmas dinner on a single gas ring, a 3-ring kind of gas range. It's smaller rings for smaller pans. That's not going to be part of what I'm talking about. That's not going to be part of the order that I'm going to do in the run up to Christmas. But sometime this week, I keep just like adding things to the shopping cart. I got to then go through and be a bit more sensitive. I throw things in. I use the shopping cart just as a bookmark, as a reminder. I got to go back through and weed it out a little bit and remove the things that don't match the criteria, that don't match what I'm doing now. I want 10 or 20 €1 or €2 items. But then a couple of things I could do with it are a little bit more. So for example, my AA batteries, I have 8 of them. One of them's bust, one of them's lost, so I'm down to 6 AAA batteries, and I've got you can't see that today, can you? I got 2 sets of these Christmas tree lights. I got 2 sets of these. They take 3 batteries, but I don't want to have my 6 batteries, my only 6 batteries in continuous use. I want to reserve 1 set of batteries for, you want to have them powered, but in abeyance, in reserve. Abeyance is far too posh a word for this time of night. Have 3 batteries in reserve. That's a more, I guess, more appropriate verbiage. Look at him. Verbiage. What a dick. Tramp in a field talking about abeyance and verbiage. There we go. Looks beautiful though. Here we go. Karen wants Joanne to travel from Glasgow to Leeds so that she can fly out for 78 quid instead of a couple of hundred. Oh, Karen's not the biggest fan of. I gotta keep quiet. I gotta walk a line. These people talk to me. The November Man. Now there's a fucking name. Hello, Mike and chat. You missed Tina. Hold on. Let's see whether we can see Tina. I think she's still ignoring us all. Are we on 199? Okay, let me plug the tablet in just for a little bit, because the tablet needs some love. Oh man, managing power. I keep, in the middle of the night, I put the fridge freezer on. I'll just give it half an hour. Let it get the temperature. The temperature will rise to say 5 or 6 degrees. I want to get it back down to like -5 in the freezer part. I'll just put it on for half an hour. And then I fall asleep like I did before coming live with you guys. And I wake up 4 and 5 in the morning. Fucking EcoFlow's on 0. And then I gotta hope that we have a sunny day. And I checked the weather forecast this morning, 4 o'clock. Oh yeah, it's gonna be sunny all day. Okay, that's marvellous. 7 o'clock, just before, like half an hour or an hour before the sun comes up, I checked the weather forecast again. Oh, sunny but with a bit of cloud. Yeah, no. Cloudy with a bit of sun was what they fucking meant. All fucking morning. We'd get up to, there'd be 20 watts of power coming. So the EcoFlow needs 15 watts clear. By which I mean, if I've got something plugged in that's taking 10 watts, I need 15 watts above that coming in. So if my phone or tablet need charging, and the phone did, I need 25 watts, and it's like 21, 22, 23, 19, 50. In the end, I have to unplug the phone so that the 15 watts that are coming in, the 15 and 16 watts, are enough to charge the EcoFlow. I only plug the phone back in when we get to like 30 watts or something, 25 or 30 watts. And I had this all morning, plugging, unplugging, plugging, yeah, we've got enough to spare that I can put the phone in. If the phone goes off, the phone's my internet connection. I'm sharing it with so I'm doing the hotspot thing. The phone is like my router to the world. It's my connection to the world. The phone gets down to 10% charge. I have to plug it in no matter what. Balancing power. Now, where was I? I was about to try and show you. I think she's hiding. Here's the bed. Here's the light. Oh, gosh. There's my girl. Hello, babe. Oh, yeah, we got to look at you. Hello, babe. Hello, you. Do we get kisses? I'm too far away. I can't even reach you for a cuddle. Let's see whether I can get a cuddle. Oh, no. Let me come closer. I'll come to you. Don't worry. I'll come to you. Hey, babe. Hey, baby. Hello, you. Show the people what a lovely little lady you are. Yeah. Yes, she is. Hello, Tina. Love you, darling. Kisses and cuddles. I'll take you for a walk as soon as we're done here. I know we're late. Yeah, I know. Can I do you? Tickle your eyebrows. Tickle your eyebrows. You like that, don't you? You like having your eyebrows tickled. There you go. There's my sweet little lady. That's one to treasure, darling. Are you going underground? Are you going under? I know, you want to get out of it. There she goes, folks. That was Tina. That was one of our best on-screen cuddles yet. Hold on. Turn it back around this way. Back to the guy that thinks he's the star of the show, but clearly fucking isn't. I know why you're all here. You're all here for Tina. Look, I take the camera away from her and back to my ugly physiog, and you start leaving. Thanks for that. Let's have a look. The November Man. That's a fantastic name. Is there a real name there, November Man? I like to get a real name from people when I can. Same with hello, goodbye. But if you prefer not to, it's if you want to stay anonymous, that's okay. I don't say gracias or gracias. I say how dare you talk to me, you peasant. Okay, Mr. 100. Oh, I knew. Okay, you're the tent provider. My emergency backup tent provider. Thank you. He's the 100. The tent. On which, yeah, he did write. He wrote from number 100. Yeah. It's still there. So my go bin is just behind the lamp. Can I show this? So behind the lamp, you see the bin? I call it my go bin. People who do preparedness will have a go bag, something ready to just grab if they need to go. So in there is your tent, an emergency sleeping bag, a bedroll, and various other essentials. There's a jacket and I think a clean, a dry pair of clothes, a dry set of clothes. I've got a trolley in an absolute emergency, given half an hour's notice. The EcoFlow and my electronics and things would get thrown in there. Anything else I can think of would get thrown in. I would look around, stuff that just had to be there, and the bin would get put on my trolley and off we would run. Was the original idea back when Tina had back legs. Back when Tina had back, yeah, poor thing. Now it would take me, I would need like 10 minutes warning just to get Tina into her fucking chariot. I thought that would have become quicker over time. I have not coughed in about a fucking week. Don't start. The cough's not real. It's psychosomatic because I was just thinking, I haven't coughed yet. It's definitely psychosomatic. But it takes me 10 minutes to get the doggy into the doggy wheelchair still. And then when we get to wherever we're going, let's say that I decide to stop off at a cafe and I have to take her out. It takes seconds to get her out of it. But then when it's time to leave, Christ. She wriggles and still doesn't get used to it. And not only does it take over 5 minutes to get her in, but sometimes I need people to help me get her in. So I've taken her out and she's sat there and she's under my table and she's, I don't know, she'll bark at the waitress or whatever, cutely. But then putting her back in putting her back in the wheelchair, even though she's already harnessed up, all I've done is I've unclipped her harness from the structure, and I've lifted her back legs out of. She basically, there's a bar goes across her lower belly. That lifts her back legs up, which are then in stirrups, and then there's a harness on her chest which clips onto the inside of the frame. Unclip those and lift her out. Takes seconds. Putting her back in doesn't take fucking seconds. I'll tell you that. And to the point where people assist. They feel a need to jump in. Tom arrived. Hello, Mr. Tombstone. It took me ages to get that. In fact, I think you had to explain it for me to get it. The man with the ligma fork, future canoe, absolutely. The ligma fork. Ligma, there's a couple of meanings of ligma. It's basically ligma balls, but also some other creator once upon a time did a spoof virus video. There was a spoof virus called ligma. There might even be an actual virus called it now. But yeah, no, Future Canoe, of the cookery channels, Future Canoe is king. And it's a couple of years ago, guy had about 300,000 followers. And he decided to make a beef Wellington from in his student accommodation. I think literally in his student bedroom. And some bloke called Gordon watched the video. Mr. Ramsey. And the guy did such a good job that Gordon, like, congratulated, celebrated, put the video out there saying what a good job. Next thing you know, the guy went from 2 or 300,000 to over 1 million, like in weeks. I mean, in like within a month or two, and now he's got, I don't know, he's 2 or 3 million. I mean, he's away, and I think he's still living the student life. I don't know if he's actually still a student, but he lives like a student. The shared accommodation, and no one's ever seen his face. He does the entire video POV kind of point. You see his hands, you see what's happening, but you don't see him. And even he's using these stainless steel bowls sometimes, and there'll be a reflection. He blurs out the fucking. It would already be a blurry reflection, but he blurs out the blurry reflection. I love. He's one of the few people. If I see he's got a new video out, I'm there. If I get the alert, the they don't call them alerts, what they call notification. Get the notification. Watch it. There are about 3 people on this planet. Sometimes I'll see a notification. Yeah, I'll get that later. Yeah, I'll get that. Okay, that'd be nice. I'll get that in an hour or two. No, Future Canoe. Watch. Gotta watch it. One of the others is a bloke called Will Prowse, who looks at DIY solar power. Is where I learnt about EcoFlow and Jackery and Bluetti, all these things. I will watch a Will Prowse video anytime. He's now at the stage where someone sends him one for free. Someone sends him an EcoFlow for free. He takes a fucking chainsaw to it, cuts the fucking top. It's not a chainsaw, it's a reciprocating saw, but he cuts them in half and looks at the wiring and shit, and then wonders whether he can patch it all back together again afterwards. Checks the temperature sensors, and if I put this temperature sensor in a block of ice, does it cut off? No, it doesn't. Oh my god, what? It's not doing what it's meant to do. All of that kind of analysis. Will Prowse, Future Canoe. Who else do I watch straight away? Oh, I don't know. There are a few, but I would maybe not name them just off the top of my head. Used to be Linus Tech Tips I watched a lot of. A little bit less now. Let me scroll on and let's see where we are. Soul Mining, hello. I'm gonna say Steve, but that might be. Hold on. There are Steves and there are Chris's, and I never. Hold on. Steve, I was right for once. Fuck. Usually I guess, and I'm somewhere near, but nowhere near really. Flamenco Day is November the 16th. That's right on top of us, isn't it? Oh, it was yesterday. Oh, okay. I just got a message from someone I'll have to reply to that straight after. Hold on. Tom's in Geneva, Mr. Tombstone. Weren't you? I thought you were headed for. Was it Leeds? You were going somewhere in the north of England for a. Like a rave reminiscence. No? Is this you on your way, or are you on your way back? Have you been and gone? Where are you? Let me. It's jumped. Ligma Folk, Soul Mining, hello Steve. Flamenco Day, November 16th, which was yesterday. Maybe fireworks then. Not here. They got a big thing here. Here's not so much flamenco. Here, they're all about Havana. Or in Spanish, Habana. V and B are the same letter, same sound. And so the people from Habana are the Habaneros. We have a big street, one of the main streets in the center of of Torrevieja is Avenida, which is Avenida, because there's a bus, Avenida Habaneros, and then there's a big shopping centre called Habaneros. What's it called? Centro Comercial Habaneros. But yeah, and they have a big music festival here again to do with Havana. Apparently there's a link. When Cuba was going through a really rough time, hundreds of people set off from here to go to Havana, I think to take aid. But I think some of them went there and stayed. I guess we're talking about the 50s or maybe 60s. Yeah, occasionally someone will pull up in a car and open the boot and do the big booming speaker thing, and they'll do some flamenco thing. But it's not. It's more. You're more likely to get what's the South American dancey stuff called? You're more likely to get that than flamenco. One of those rolling subtitle headlines on the BBC. Pope Leo urges Hollywood to resist algorithms and save cinema. He wants them to stop turning gay and trans, basically, yeah? Is that what we're saying? He says, nobody wants to turn trans. Shut up and just make films for the fucking majority. Make a film for the 99%, not for the modern audience that doesn't exist. Make of that what you will. I just did. I went off all political again, folks. I'm sorry. It just seems a dumb thing to me to aim production. You want to be all inclusive and attract that 1%, but in attracting that 1%, you lose 50%. Was it really worth it? Did you include that many, really? I don't know. So, okay, hello, goodbye. Wanted to say thanks for the answer about fireworks and good night, chat. Good night, hello, goodbye. Mr. 100, was it, I'm assuming gender. I think it was Mr. 100. That was at 12:03. Oh, it's half an hour ago. I'm that far behind. Fuck. Let me get going, folks. Let me get going. Goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, hello, goodbye. Bye, goodbye. Jack Attack. Oh, he posted. Okay, he posted the PayPal link. Thank you, my friend. Appeal powdered orange juice. Oh, on Kellogg's Rise and Shine. No. Or is Kellogg's Rise and Shine an equivalent? There's Jack entering the. There's another Glaswegian. They're taking over. Have you used your new pan? Shh, I only just told people about the new pan. I turned this part of my beard orange with the orange juice earlier, apparently. There may or may not be a cookery video soon with the pan. It depends whether the footage comes together. Did you have the laptop working? Absolutely. I don't let a little bit of technology and passwords and things get in my way. It's a flower. It's Rosemary. Hello, handsome. George Napa. Sorry I didn't come back in all. Oh, your father passed away. Hope to come back after Christmas and pop down to see you and bring you some food. See you soon, George. George, you're welcome anytime, mate. Anytime. Everybody's welcome anytime. Rose mentions Dave. I don't know what that's about. I'm not a Dave. Begins with D, but it's not Dave. Busy day tomorrow night, everyone, says Karen. Hold on. What do I have to know? What am I not knowing? Monday the 17th November, busy day. I got no clue. And now it's gonna, I gotta scroll to get rid of stuff. I'm lost. I'm scrolling back to the one Dave. My name's the one name you cannot type in chat. It is a blocked word. My real name. Anyone who chats with me in the real world gets my name. If you do email, if we do WhatsApp or Messenger, if you send me a PayPal and I reply, you get my real name. But you can't type it in chat. Your message will disappear in the ether. I got family back home. I want to just maintain a little bit of privacy, dignity, I don't know, for them, even though none of them are talking to me. Oh, is that Karen going? Oh, busy day tonight. Okay. Busy day tomorrow. Night, everyone. Needed a comma or a full stop or something. I was thinking busy day tomorrow night, and I'm thinking, what's tomorrow night? What's tomorrow night? A bit slow sometimes, folks. I can't always repair your grammar in my head on the fly. Good night, Karen. Even though it's like, hold on. That's only 7. I'm only 7 minutes behind now. Tom, so far, Portsmouth, Bognor, Rotherham. You see now, Rotherham, you're like the next village down almost from where I'm from. Not quite. Village wouldn't be the right word, but Rotherham, Mexborough, and then Darfield, and then Barnsley. I mean, you're there or thereabouts. You're in the region. The rave. Hold on, for the rave. Rotherham for the rave. Then Newcastle, ferry to Amsterdam, bus through France, and chilling here for a few days at a friend's place. So the rave already happened. The rave was in Rotherham. Is that what you're saying? Up to Rotherham for the rave. Okay, mate. Headed south. You're going Spain or the Balkans? Oh, interesting choice. Not sure. The kerfuffle in the 90s is still too recent in my head. But that's probably just my head. Josie's gone. The alarm's going at 7. Bye bye. Have a nice chat. I will endeavour so to do, my lovely. Good night, Josie. That's 5 minutes. I'm only 5 minutes behind now. +1 vote for a cooking vid. If I'm not sure the footage I've got, but if what I've got doesn't work as one, I'll come up with something else. I was saying the other day, coming up with a meal idea that I haven't already. There is, folks. If you're interested in watching me cook, they're all bad. But there is not a stream. What's the word? A playlist. There is a cookery playlist already. So, trying to come up with something that I haven't already done. They're mainly one-pot meals. It's gonna be a soup or a stew or a bolognese. It has to be in one pot. Usually. If you want to see me struggle, I might. If you persuade me, you have to donate to buy me the fucking ingredients. A Christmas dinner cooked on one gas ring. That would be trying to do it and video it. Fuck. I could. The 3-ring thing that I was talking about would be even better, but I don't have that. Could I plan it out? Get the ingredients, do the shopping, get all the ingredients together. Keep the ingredients fresh enough up to the day. I can now because I've got a fridge freezery thing. And then could I cook it? Here's another thing. My preference with a Christmas dinner for the last 20 years or so has been to cook on the Christmas Eve and then have a Christmas dinner, a serving of Christmas dinner each on the Christmas Eve to follow like European. I'm a guest within Spain, within a European country, follow the European tradition. But then I'm Brit. I'm a British. I'm a Brit. So to follow the British tradition, you want to have the big Christmas dinner, the big Christmas lunch, I guess, if you're going to be. We go back to that. What's a dinner? What's a lunch? What's a breakfast kind of conversation. But the big Christmas dinner on Christmas Day. But I don't want all the hassle. I don't want to be starting from scratch on Christmas Day. But it's already done. It's basically warming up what you've already got and possibly adding a few extra sprouts or parsnips or something. That's my preference. Cook big Christmas Eve and eat a small Christmas dinner. Next day, reheat and eat bigly. And drink bigly. Bigly. I sound like something off of Buck Rogers. Tweaky. Voiced by, was it Mel Blanc? The voice behind Bugs Bunny. You knew he sounded familiar. I think I've got the name right. Cooking grid, yeah, okay. Oh, Rose says, good night, keep well, handsome. Rose, on night shift again. You'll be chatting those doctors up again, won't you? At the nurse's station. Can we pretend there's an emergency and buzz one of them that's on... The young doctors that are, what do you call them? Like the student doctors. That they're asleep in a bedroom somewhere. You're going to buzz them and get them out of bed. Let's pretend there's an emergency and get one of those young bucks up here to come and chat to us at the nurse's station. I know your game. Not an easy night shift. Can I ask, Rose? Can I ask if you're still there? Is it hospital or is it like a nursing home? Are we caring for elderly or like Alzheimer's or something? That would be difficult because they don't know what time of day or night it is. They'll be up and down. Yeah, that'd be tricky. I'm not quite sure what. I do, get them all up. Okay, those doctors. Okay, the private home for a Methodist church. Okay, now your religion I don't understand. What's the method? I don't know what it is. A dementia unit. Okay, so yeah, that's. I've told the story a couple of times of the lady over the road. She was a lovely lady, all prim and proper. She was a lovely, and then she's standing out in the street at 2 and 3 in the morning. Her friends are coming to take her to church, and it's like a Wednesday morning or a Thursday morning, and it's 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. And you got to explain that no, you've got it wrong. No, but no. Come back out later. and just try and get her back inside. Lovely lady. She was the oldest lady on the street, and she'd been there the longest, lived there her entire life. Uh, the next oldest lady on the street lived right next door to us, and she'd literally she left the Lancaster and Morecambe area once in her life, and that was to go on honeymoon to Lytham St Anne's. So from Morecambe, Lancaster, she basically her honeymoon was to go to the next seaside town down the coast. What, 40 miles away maybe? On honeymoon during World War II. It's the only time she left the town. She literally, in her entire life, left the Lancaster and Morecambe area once for honeymoon. And she went basically just down the coast to the next seaside town. That's remarkable. But these were the two old ladies. These two old ladies kind of ruled the roost. They ruled the street. They were the long termers. But then, as I said, the lady over the road got the dementia. The lady next door fell, broke her hip, and as they so often do, within about I don't think 12 months, but she basically never let. So we lived on quite a steep road, and there was a supermarket at the bottom of the not a mini supermarket, a Spar, at the bottom of the road. SPAR for the non Brits. It's kind of a cooperative supermarket, a buyer's cooperative, I believe. She went down there. She fell on the main road and broke her hip. And from then on, she just hardly ever went out of the house. Deteriorated, and certainly within 18 months, I don't think within 12, but certainly within 18 months, that was her gone. I used to tell this story. So between our house and hers, this is a terrace street, so just a row of houses down the hill. A true terrace, stepped. The hill is dug into and stepped so that you get 2 or 3 houses on a level of terracing. I don't just mean like a townhouse row. It was a true terrace on the hill. But between the 2 houses was a ginnel, a passageway, a snicket, whatever you want to call it, an alleyway with a door. And the number of times I used to come home from work, I worked at Reebok, and I cycle home in the dark. And I'd open the passageway door, and there's this big, wide, thundering woman, and the joke was always that Anne got me up the back passage. She got lumbering around up my back passage. Silly, puerile, but that's humour for you, isn't it? Three floors to run with 9 carers and 40 residents. 9 carers and 40 residents. That's a lot. That's a lot. And I guess when you first come on shift, they're not already in bed. No, you gotta go and get them, I don't know, washed and into their pajamas and whatever. Depends what time your shift started. Maybe you have to breakfast them in the morning. You'll be doing one or the other, I imagine. Most of the residents come from home after a fall. That first big fall that people have, it obviously there's the physical damage, but there's a massive emotion. Then they suddenly realise that maybe they can't cope, or maybe their family realise they can't cope. One or the other, and that's terrifying. if you're on your own, if you let's say that you're one half of a couple and the other half's passed already, maybe, or the other half's like really frail and can't cope with, they're struggling to get by on their own, the burden, as it were, of looking after another, and especially if dementia's in play. But the thigh bone thing, the you break that thigh bone, so many go within 18 months. So much so that they invented, I remember reading that they invented like a pair of trousers or something that had padding for the hips, so that if you fell, you were less likely to to to, to do the breakage, to break the bone. Supper and medicine before bed, okay. Or the tablet run, yeah, the push the cart around, keep it locked so no one else gets into it, but give the right medication to the right people. Big responsibility. Go to it, Rose. You can't stick around talking to a fucking tramp. Okay, folks, I noticed that the numbers have fallen off a bit, haven't they? We're down to just 6 viewers. Does that mean I'm calling it quits soon? There's a guy there made a comment, rather than in chat, but a comment that I'll probably need to get back to fairly rapidly. I love talking to you, says Rose, and I enjoy talking to you as well, my love. Yeah. I play these back and I enjoy listening to me. I'll be honest. I had no idea what we were going to talk about today, and I so often I'm just not in the, an hour or two before we do this, I'm not in the mood. Something about it cheers me up. And it's you guys. We got anybody out there that hasn't said hello yet? I really am going to run dry within the next few minutes if we don't get some chat interaction. So if you're lurking, like Jack Attack does so often, if you're lurking and you want to come and say hello, and maybe you've got questions, maybe you're new here and you're just observing for the first time and wondering the who, how, what, when, where, why, come and say hello, ask your questions. I'll probably just tell you to go and watch TrampCast 001. Those are numbers, not the word 00, but TrampCast space and then the digits 001. That will answer most of your questions. But here's Tom. My grandmother will be 80 next year. She's been falling and breaking her hips long as I can remember. Can't reach the cabin without skis. Shit. But last year she had a fall and couldn't find her car. Oh, the parking. Oh, Jesus Christ. In Norway. I wouldn't fancy falling over and breaking my hip in the fucking snow. What? No. God, no. Some other skier passed by, drove her to the hospital. It's a little strange and worries me. But other than that, she's sharp as a tack. Oh, yeah, no, you don't always. Falling and mental clarity, they're independent events, they're independent factors. Now, people with dementia could fall and not know they've fallen. You know, like the day out. Let's say they get back up on their feet and stagger off home or whatever. They could be bruised to high heaven and have no knowledge of where the bruises came from. Is that you, Tina? What are we doing? I'm hearing movement in the tent and I'm hoping it's my doggy and not something else. I think it's my girl. I think it's Tina. But no. But people who are sharp as a tack and they get into their 70s, 80s, 90s, and they're still with it. But even then, they can still fall, and that's where I said before, it's kind of frightening. Someone who has a bad fall, but it's totally compos mentis. But if they know, oh my, 60% of people who fall and break a hip will die within the next year. If you're elderly, sharp as a tack, and know that statistic, oh, that's... And I think this is what happened with my neighbour. She was sharp as a button, she was all there, but she had this fall, and then she kind of didn't really leave the house. Fear. Jack Attack says needs a Zorb ball to Tom. What's a Zorb ball? I'm going to have to... You can't just dangle shit like that in front of me without it. I have no knowledge of what a Zorb ball is. Okay, I'm with you. Okay. When you see people running around in the... hamsters have them, don't they? Like the plastic ball, you put a hamster inside and it just runs everywhere. Like a three-dimensional hamster wheel. That's a Zorb ball. And there's lots of inflation in between. There's an outer layer and an inner layer. Okay. Zorbing is the recreation or sport of rolling downhill inside a Zorb. An orb or ball with a smaller ball inside and an air layer in between the two. Typically made of transparent plastic. It's an inflatable double ball with, yeah, okay. I like that. I've never heard of, I've seen the pictures before, but I didn't know the word Zorb. Zorb or Zorb ball. A little bit tricky to get through the doors in the house. Getting up the stairs will be a challenge. But yeah, when you're outside, yeah. Imagine getting up the hill in snow though. Can your Zorb ball take skis? Or snowshoes? Can you put chains on it? Maybe you can put the winter chains on it to get up the hill. Stop it, I'm making myself laugh now. And I got beer dripping off my beard. Is it dripping off my beard or off my tash? In the next few days, folks, I am taking the hedge trimmers to it, definitely. It is beyond a joke now. I had some orange juice earlier and now I've got an orange. It's only on the left, I think. I think the right is just a natural kind of brown colour. The left is a lot more orangey. I don't know, folks. What do you do? Now we're coming up on 2 hours, yeah? Because I was very late starting because I'd already been asleep. Ah! Misclicked. I went away. I'm back now. Okay, folks. I think I'm going to wait until we hit the 2 hours, which I got 1:59 showing here. We might have lost some with disconnects and what have you. I will go till 2 hours and 1 minute. Excuse me. What's the temperature over there, Mike? It's been quite warm. Through the day it was 24 degrees. Right about now, after we finish, I'm going to walk the doggy. 16 it says here. 16 at the minute. So it's 61 in Fahrenheit for anyone who doesn't know. That's the one. Oh, look at that. 4 millimeters of rain in the morning. Where the fuck's that come from? What are you talking about? Okay. Hey, I only check the weather forecast 20 times a day and there was no sign of rain. Suddenly we've got a fucking a size that's a sizable chunk of rain for 1 hour. 6 while 7 in the morning. Um but yeah. I'll keep heading south, says Tom. My goal is to not see snow all winter, which would be a novelty for you. I haven't seen snow. Well, I was here in Torrevieja when it snowed for the first time in 100 years. I didn't see it settle, but apparently in some places it did. There are pictures of snow on the ground. My garden, I had a house at the time, a two down, rather than an apartment, I had an actual house. Um, so that means it was either 2016. It must have been the winter of 2016 into 2017. I think I was gone before the next winter. I think I'd moved out of there. So it must have been that. That was the first time in 100 years that it snowed in Torrevieja. And like I said, it didn't. Even when it settled, it was only for a few hours. Long enough for a few people to take photographs, but not long enough to be real. You know, I'm not convinced that that movement is Tina. I was looking on Temu, like I said earlier, and I looked at. I got into like the mousetrap things. These fantastic mousetraps that I've got now with the jaws that do that. I was looking at the bigger version. Someone's holding one in like both hands. The rat version. But they were fucking €7 each. €1 for the little ones. I figured two, maybe €3 for a bigger one to get the bigger guys. Seven. And the fuck. I mean, they're holding it in two hands. I mean, it's big. But €7. Maybe I'm just a tight twat, but since I've been in enclosed tents, we haven't had rats. It was only when I was in the one where the sheets came down, where the sides came down and stopped at the ground and then a separate ground sheet, so other stuff could get in. So as you know, last winter I was plagued. It was more spring than winter. I was plagued by mice. And then my friends Adam and Mel. I don't know, are you still out there, guys? Adam and Mel, hello, hello. We must. I'll knock you up on WhatsApp. But they brought me these four mouse traps, and within a week we decimated them, and we got six in the first night. Um, many foxes over there. Never seen a fox. I know the word. I know that they must exist because the word Zorro, and indeed the place that I'm at, Cala, which is Cove, Cala de la Thora, Cala de la Zora. That's the female version of fox. So think vixen. The same word also means whore. Is it the vixen's cove or is it the whore's cove? You tell me. So Zorro with his mask, the line around the eyes. If you ever look at a fox, they tend to have a stripe around the eyes. So that's the guy with the sword, El Zorro. He's the fox. But no, I've never seen or heard foxes in this region. No, no. They exist in the country, but in this country, it has such different. So to the north, you got the hills and the mountains, and it's very green. And then you enter the more desert-like central regions. And then you've got these coastal regions. Lots of different climates, and it's very much a mixed bag of a country. To me, all of the natural land looks like a builder's rubble yard. It's like the builders have built houses next door, and this has just been the dumping ground for all the shit. Now, a lot of that is because there are a lot of builders that will just dump shit everywhere. But like here, like this road, it's solid rock, or was, and it gets eroded, and then all these brick-like chunks of rock get kind of, they look like loose concrete that's just been thrown around. So the road erodes. Try saying that after a few beers. The road erodes, and mud gets churned up, and stones get thrown about. But there's a lot of dumping. There's a lot of fly tipping. So common to see a builder's van pull up at the bins and just dump like a ton of builders' refuse. They're not supposed to dump it at the bins. Sometimes they put them in the bin. They'll pick up one of those contractor refuse bags, and it's all just full of gravel and concrete and plaster that's gone off. Whenever you get rain, there's always some builder bin. They leave bags of plaster and bags of cement out because it never rains until it does. And once it does rain, you got to throw them all away because they've gone off in the okay, the tennis racket of death doing its thing. Big Clive complains that they don't attract the mosquitoes because nobody's interested in the blue light. But flies and moths and other ne'er-do-wells that are just as irritating do get stuck in them. And I'm sure every now and again a mozzie is just flying in that direction and gets. I've been got quite a bit this last week or two. Because my fly spray is crap and it's almost run out. I've been got quite a bit each night. I do have to drag myself off. I've got to top up my card, my prepaid debit card. I've got to top that up and get myself off to the supermarket and do an exploratory trip to try and work out how much. That's the fly spray. How much can I carry back while still being able to steer Tina around and pick her up in a chariot? The heavy weight goes on the right shoulder, but I also lean to the right to pick the doggy chariot and pick Tina's back end up if there isn't a ramp off of or up onto curbs. So there's all that to. I haven't done my first shopping trip yet partly because I had so much stuff here from Karen and from Josie just before Karen. About 3 weeks, maybe a month earlier. I've still got a lot of that stuff. I'm gonna have a sort through what's left, aggregate some, break some up, and put into the various shelves and drawers and cupboards and whatever that I've got, and then fill the gaps where you've got potatoes and onions, but you haven't got celery and carrots or leeks. Gonna fill those gaps so that stews and soups. I don't have any kind of stick blender or hand blender or anything. Can you get those battery operated or maybe USB powered? I don't know. Maybe that's something I'll add that to my mental list to look for on Temu. That would make soups and things easier. I've got a potato masher, so I can get kind of part way there, but I got a lot of food here, but it doesn't always add up to a meal. I got to work through that. I got to work that out. I've got to take my girl off. We've got to start going. I'm still embarrassed to say we're halfway through November. I have not stepped foot in a supermarket yet this year. I've stepped foot in a supermarket once with other people, and we went in specifically to get like 2 items. One of which was a fly spray, but not this fly spray. But I haven't independently gone off and been shopping in a supermarket. I'm kind of half tempted. This is going to sound really bad. I'm half tempted to carry on not doing. You know, like I went like 18 months without washing my hair until I did in about June. So I did a whole year, a whole calendar year, where I didn't wash my hair. It's kind of sort of tempting, 10.5 months into a year. It's kind of tempting to say, hey, can I get to Christmas without going shopping? It's tempting, but that would be putting upon other people, expecting other people to fulfill my Christmas desires isn't the right word. My Christmas dietary requirements. I can't do that. I'm probably gonna do that this week. I'll send Karen some PayPal pennies, and I'll go to the nearest supermarket. It's about a third of the distance that Mercadona is. So maybe I can go there. It'll take me a while to learn the layout and to know what's where. I did go there just before Christmas last year when it first opened, and my card didn't work, which was quite embarrassing. I only had €17 worth of produce, of goods, but my card wouldn't work. I had to borrow €20 from the little old lady that had driven me there. Driven? Drove. Driven. I shouldn't say little old lady, but she's 80. Sorry, Colleen. Alright, folks, we're well over the 2 hours mark, which I'm surprised I had anything to talk about even to that. Hold on, let's have a look. Mixture of, okay. Tom didn't know that word, the Z-link, Zorro and Fox and what have you. Okay, Zorro is the Spanish for fox. Vixen is often used for a promiscuous woman. Yeah, in English we use vixen more sly, deceptive, rather than promiscuous. It's interesting how different countries takes on a. I guess someone can be sly and be promiscuous. You could be sexually provocative and deceitful. Tom's first night in Portsmouth, he saw 4 foxes in less than 2 hours, teeming with them. Yeah, when I was in London, South London, Wimbledon, and South Wimbledon, a place called the road was called Deer Park Road, a place I worked at, BOC, the British Oxygen Company, big gas company, lots of gas bottles, hydrogen cyanide and cyanogen and other toxic variants. It was the special gases division. So they did all the normal stuff, the oxygen and the carbon dioxide and all of that, oxyacetylene and all that. But they also did the deadly stuff. We had a panic button that we were told if you ever press that, the SAS will be jumping out of helicopters to come and rescue you. It was assumed you push that button, it was assumed it was like a terrorist attack, and you know, men from Hereford would be on the way. More than likely Chelsea Barracks rather than Hereford, but you get the idea. Where was I going with that? Deer Park Road. Yeah, the foxes in the morning. My first night, we worked night shift. My first night working there, I couldn't work out whether I was listening to a child scream, whether it was cats making love. I don't know, the foxes are worse. The foxes have a terrible screech about them. Yeah. Foxes are getting more frequent round here. Saw one run past me with a pigeon in its mouth not long back. Remind me where you are, Steve. I'm not sure where around here is, but yeah, they're encroaching into city. Well, are they encroaching into cities, or are cities encroaching into their territory? There's a Warrington, Cheshire. Okay, mate. You're in the northwest. Warrington. Eddie Waring. I've probably done that the last time you told me. Yeah. No foxes or badgers in Shetland. Hello, Tom. We've got multiple Toms. We are fully Tommed right now. No foxes or badgers. Never seen a badger in real life. I've seen foxes in real life. Never seen badgers, I don't think. My first memory of badgers was on Rupert the Bear. His friend, I want to say Bill, but that sounds wrong. Billy Badger. What's Rupert the Bear's badger friend called? God, I had loads of Rupert the Bear books and stories. Rupert T. Bear. Everyone knows his name. Come join in his games. Dum 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 dum. Rupert the Bear. Yeah. All right, folks. I've been threatening to leave you for a little while now. Let's call it quits there. Let's see whether I can get her ladyship to join in. We'll see if we can leave in the manner to which you've become accustomed. Oh, I've got to search now for the light. Here's the light. Oh, she's still underground. Hey, babe. Hey. Hey, baby. Oh, can we say goodbye to the peoples? She's not going to let me, is she? Hey, babe. Hello, you. Say bye-bye to the peoples. Give a cuddle. Are you going back under? Okay, darling. From Tina. Okay, darling. Go back under. Oh, well, that's nice. We got to see her front on. Oh, skull, Tom. Skull. That was from Tina. And from me, Delta Mike. Out. Give us a second. Jack attacks just there to say cheers and goodbye. From Tina and from me, Delta Mike. Out. Catch you later, folks.